I need to turn the fucking Oh, okay. Yeah, that's my other account. I'm gonna turn my sound off on that, by the way. Yeah, I know, I saw that. Well, I'm gonna be commentating. Yeah. Yep. Have her over for now. Where is data off first? Data off, don't need that on. And then vibrate, there we go. Good, so it's not gonna be loud. So yeah. Probably stop by Rose's later. Working till 7. I know. It's messed. It's all messed up. Yep.
He's typing, by the way.
Oh. All right. I'm gonna unmute on here now. 16 people. Okay. As season 11 wraps up, we head to Las Vegas for a finale with a 3-way constructors fight. We've got Red Bull, we've got Ferrari, and we've got Mercedes in the fight. 33 points separate them. Ferrari and Mercedes have a long shot chance, but it doesn't look like they'll be in it to win it unless they do something out of the ordinary. Welcome along, folks. RPL Tier 2 commentary here tonight in Las Vegas for round number 13 of Season 11, the season finale for Tier 2. I'm your commentator, Ryan Searles, and alongside me, Eoin McMoran. Welcome along, Eoin. Good to have you here.
Hello! Yes, I'm just obviously again it's gonna be really hectic in the first few minutes of this stream because obviously trying to sort stuff out when I'm not the host is quite annoying because that is bad. So yeah.
So, short qualifying, I believe I'm seeing, correct?
I'm asking you to change it to full.
All right, well, yeah, we do have a bigger grid now that it's past 3 o'clock or 8 UK time. With that said, let's go over the standings. Obviously, Eoin, you're here in the commentary box now because you were the Tier 2 champion and you finished out the Tier 2 season like that as the commentator. Co-commentator, actually. And we've got a battle still brewing for second place in the Drivers' Championship. Gecko has a 5-point gap over Bonkers, and we'll figure out if he ends up maintaining that. Gecko. Bonkers won this race back in Season 9. It was a Ferrari 1-2. Ferrari are 30 points back in the Constructors' table, with Mercedes 3 points behind them. Red Bull obviously have the championship lead, and at one point, Eoin, they were 53 points back after round number 6 this season 7 weeks ago, and now they're leading by over 30 points. Well, by 30 points, with a chance to win another Constructors title.
Yes, not as breezy.
So
I would love to be in the lobby right now. Yeah,
oh,
I'm gonna punch
yeah,
a fucking hole in my fucking monitor.
All right. Well, I will send you an invite now. We've got GTK support in Twitch chat. We've got 6, 7, 8 watching. Everyone's tuning in now, it seems. You wanted to tune in as soon as you want to give an F-bomb, Eoin.
Barking a bit on this, do my fucking...
All right. I will let you go for just a moment while you figure out your issue at joining the lobby, but we'll go over some headlines and changes and some penalties for Tier 2. I've been pinged. Zakaria says he has a qualifying ban. That would be correct. Let me just write that down because that's one of the things I did not prepare myself with. All right, so here are the headlines, changes, and penalties heading into the Tier 2 season finale for Season 11. We've got Valkyrie F1, the only female driver in RPL, having a race ban this weekend. She accumulated too many penalty points. So she's having to sit out this weekend. That actually happened, funny enough, last season as well. Joe Wilson, season 12, Mercedes full-time seat. Mentoki also a full-time season 12. Aston seat. Alpine also have Tadpole on full-time, and they have Kipu for a reserve in the team for season 12. Beatnik contract terminated. Obviously, he's working in real life, and it conflicts with his RPL schedule. So he will not be contracted to any team for the end of the season or season 12 of Tier 2. Season 12, Tier 2 has a 11-race calendar planned. And Zakaria was recently dropped from full-time racing in Mercedes Academy and is now part of Ferrari Academy as a reserve, and he's back here for Tier 2 tonight. And the last race he did was Round 6 Hungary last season, and that race got him a qualifying ban, which he'll need to be serving tonight. So 17 drivers, Eoin. What are we expecting here with a constructors fight brewing between the top 3 teams and a drivers' championship that's already been wrapped up, but second place is up for grabs, where we've had 10 different drivers in the 10 seasons finish second. We could even have an 11th tonight, depending on if Gacko gets it, or that streak will be broken if Bonkers gets it. J&T, I think. Yes. You're still not in the game? I need to get you an invite then. That's fun. That's fun. Well, I know you can't see it, but we do have 2 cars out on track. RPL Zakaria and Story of Drago, who is making his RPL debut. So, finally you're in here, Eoin. Good to see. With that being said, 2 drivers making their debut. We also have last season, well, 2 seasons ago actually, stats to go over for just a moment. So it was a Ferrari photo finish in that race 2 seasons ago. That's where it was decided that a Red Bull was going to win the championship when it was 3 rounds to go last time here. It was round number 9 that time with 3 rounds to go. An Alpine took pole by 6 thousandths. It was that person who took pole. And Ferrari had both their drivers, Bonkers and Groggers, race across the line side by side. And it was Bonkers excelling and getting the victory. And a Haas finished on the podium, P3, the last time they'd finished on the podium in a Tier 2 race. So, yeah, lots to look forward to at the circuit. We're about to have a lap get underway. Eoin, are you in the session now? All right. Here he comes, starting his lap for Alpine. This is the team that took pole in this race, Season 9, like we said, in Tier 2. They've had really good pace this season in day races, and the results have come for them then. Those are the only points finishes they have. This is our 4th night race of the 13-race season. We're ending off here in Tier 2, if you're not aware. Final race of the season, for those of you just tuning in. I see Fernando Borgs, Invade, all in chat as well, of the 9 viewers. But Draco comes through the twisty section right here, which has the sphere to the left side. We made lots of jokes about that the last time we were here. But now he comes through the ending bits of Sector 1. We'll see what the lap time is, and I'll give it to you, Eoin. It's going to be 44.9, so let's see if he can improve. Oh boy. Alright, so let's see what teammate RPL Zakaria does. RPL Zakaria is heading to the pit lane and aborting the lap time. That's true. That's right. So he will be one of the drivers being knocked out, and we'll have one out on pace then because of that. Who do we have on a lap here? We've got Bonkers on a lap. We'll go on board with him because he's going down the long back straight. DRS wide open for him. It's very important for him to do well tonight. Same with JTK, the teammate, because the constructors fight is going to be the main talking point. Him trying to get second place for the second time in his RPL career in a championship in Tier 2 will also be vital. Sector 3 is all his now. That curb right there in that chicane area, the 3 corners right there, very easy to invalidate. It may not seem like it, but it is. 32-2 from JNT, and Bonkers crosses the line to be the third driver to make it 32-2 as well. Just 60 thousandths faster. Let's see. Who else do we have out on track that I can give it to you, Owen? We've got Invade crossing the line. Invade had a really good qualifying here, actually, 2 seasons ago, and 4th place for him. Not a representative lap at all. The Alfa Romeo of Hazatime making the RPL debut. Correct me if I'm wrong, Owen. RPL debut. Crosses the line. 4th place. Do we have anyone else on a track for a lap? We have people starting one. We're going to go on board with Kipu, who has been the big surprise for AlphaTauri this season. Teammate of Blue Goggy. They have 2 more points this season than they did last season at this time into the final round. And they only had 1 points finished last season. It was that big race in Austria they had. But they've had a lot of 8th places, a lot of 9th places, and a lot of 10th places this season. And even lots of 11th place finishes, which does not score you points. But it's worth to note that they've been right there, the AlphaTauris, whether it's Blue Goggy, and mainly it's been Kipu. And Kipu's got some opportunities in the Red Bull, but now he's going to have an opportunity to go through here, the twisty section, which can easily catch a driver out. It's so hard to nail this corner, Owen. I think of it each time going through that area, and I just think I might mess it up because it's that hard to nail.
I'm pretty sure my audio isn't coming through, which is really annoying. I was testing on the stream there, so I'm probably going to have to leave and join back, which is really annoying.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Minico said he doesn't hear you, so that would be correct. We'll get Owen back in here. Kipu's getting a big slipstream from the AlphaTauri team at a Blue Goggy, but there was a McLaren in the way that was hunted. That's the second time we've seen hunted, and we've not been on board with him. Owen was heard, but he's going to have to re-include his audio when he joins back the party. Hunted got wing damage the first time out, and then the second time out, he was almost in the way there of Blue Goggy and Kipu, both AlphaTauris. So we'll have to watch out and see if that gets submitted. That surely hampered Kipu a little bit. We'll find out how much it did. Fernando Borgs, by the way, is going to be racing. He's downloading the game right now on his device. But Kipu goes 4th fastest for AlphaTauri. That should be safely through to Q2 of our drivers. We are going to have HSR Gecko coming through now and making it another driver to start a lap, and we'll go on board with him. That was Red Bull on the way of the track. That was JTK, I think, just going in. That was a concern. Usually it doesn't rain a lot in the Las Vegas area, but we have a dry race from what it looks like. Owen's inviting me to a party. Okay, that's different. We're gonna join that though, so he can include his audio, because that would be lovely. We'd love your Owen. He's very colorful with his language a lot too. All right. When you left the party, Minico said he could hear you through the Twitch stream, by the way. So. All right. So. Yeah. See if it's working now. Gecko, we're on board with. Okay. Uninclude it and then re-include it then, because that's gonna be the only way it works. You've done that a lot. I'll let you know. Talk. Oh, that's frustrating. That's frustrating. That's frustrating. Well, I'm still going to keep on board with Gecko while you try to fix that. You were hurt when you left the party. I don't know what you did there.
I know. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know how Gecko didn't validate right there, because that curb, he went over and absolutely jumped it. But, yeah, Minico's saying he's hearing nothing, so just keep trying to uninclude it and then re-include it, and cut in when you feel like it. Gecko's going to cut into the top of the board. How about that? Pretty impressive. JNT believing he's safe. I think anyone above him is safe. For sure. So, we've got 11 drivers who've done laps, and we're
Gonna
going to
shout
see
the
if we
word
can hear Eoin
gritty.
again.
Gritty! Let's see.
Yes, yes, it's working.
Uh,
Awesome. Let's keep it this way. It is working.
Oh my
We can
God,
hear you
thank
now through the
fuck.
stream. Awesome. Thank goodness.
Oh, I'm so angry.
Those
right now.
gritties. Those gritties. You're doing the gritty now, I'm sure.
I'm
Hunted,
so
5th
angry.
place for McLaren. Joe Wilson on a lap. Yeah, well, I'm going to have you put your angerness into Joe Wilson's lap here. He is full-time for next season, Owen.
Yes.
Before we have you cover the lap, are you aware of any schedule for next season as of right now?
Jack messaged me before, and I'm going to be working on after this Grand Prix. First
Okay,
race, I
perfect.
don't have a clue.
What would
I-
you want it to be?
Monaco.
That would make a lot of drivers upset.
I might do a repeat of what I did last season, make Las Vegas the first race again. Just,
Yeah.
But I think
I'd
that'd
find
be
that very
boring.
interesting.
Because
Well, Brazil was kind of boring with it being the first race this season, so got a point.
Monaco, something
I'll let you
really
take
out
over.
there. Something
Wilson
that's
in a
never really the first race of the season.
I would say do Austria or France. But that's my opinion. That's just my input. I'm irrelevant. You know who's not irrelevant though?
Mr. Joe
This
Wilson.
Mercedes driver. Joe Wilson, yes, because he returned last week and got a 4th place finish. And if he can end up doing well with Wavy Knife, who's in the Mercedes tonight and needs to actually finish in the points for this team for the first time ever, they would score the Constructors' Championship if they just do that. Joe Wilson has a straight remaining, but how have you noticed this lap so far, Owen? How would you describe it?
I
you
describe this lap as a very nice looking car because I've not been paying attention
right.
to the lap. But I think
Well,
it's
it's a
been
nice
pretty
looking lap
good.
too. 4th place. We'll take it. We'll take it. He'll take it. Wavy will take it. Wavy's also going to take his
This
car to the
is-
line and now to the pit lane.
It's a stinky
he was not happy
track
with that lap.
for the Mercedes, by the way, because of the engine. Mainly.
It is. It
'Cause
is.
It's a good
I'm
engine,
almost-
but it tops out too quickly. So that's the issue.
I'm almost certain Mercedes would rather have a different track than this one be the finale. But you know who'd probably be happy with this track being the finale? Blue Goggy. He was actually having a really good run here in Season 9 before the retirement that he had. Also was running here very well in the points in F2 before DNFing in the only F2 race ran here. But now he's coming through to Sector 3 and he's invalidated. He's the first one that we've seen invalidate through that curb. I was telling you guys that curb is really tough, even just on the track limits. And Blue Goggy is just showing us that now too.
Oh, silly boy.
Yeah, not good. Not good for Blue Goggy. Leads to penalty standings. It's not the way he would have wanted to end off his season, but you just got to go with it is what it is. Sometimes he can restart with a clean sheet next season for the amount of penalty points he got. Kipu is on a lap for AlphaTauri. Let's go on board with this with 5.5 minutes remaining in Q1. Right now we have Wavy Knife and Tadpole of not set laps being eliminated in that bottom 5, or bottom 2 area, excuse me. Going to be bottom 1 on pace here. Kipu, we're switching to, and he's going to come through the twisty chicane where Reese and Cryptic, 2 teammates, collided in the Tier 1 race. Let's see what Kipu does. I'm going to give it away to you now, Owen.
Yes, horrendous chicane. Like fun, chicane, but horrendous to drive because of how slow and just the chicane is. And you'll be happy to get onto this long little kinky winky bit, which is really hard to brake for here. If you've got ABS off, extremely hard place to brake. Very easy to go deep and cause a massive collision with yourself and with your teammate, as we saw last time T2 was around here. On the absolute beautiful Las Vegas Strip. And you can just hear the car has rev maxed halfway down the straight at 350 kilometers per hour. And beautifully through the chicane, well, a bit wide. Oh, he's
Wow. I don't know how he kept that off the wall. That was very close for Kipu. Very, very big close call. We're going to switch to JTK. We're going to switch to JTK, who became a first-time winner just a couple weeks ago, and now we'll find out if he can repeat that for a second time today in Las Vegas. He's on a lap now, and he's got that rear wing wide open, and we'll see what his top speed will be. Sector 2 split is a 109.9, 219, 220, 221, maybe? No. He brakes very heavy after the strip for this 3-corner chicane, which is also tricky and very tight. Now he's going to have one more corner to negotiate. It's just a little left-hand kink to the line, and it's top of the board. 31.8, faster than his competition, and very vital for Red Bull to have both cars in that top 5, let alone top 3.
JTK has been a very dependable driver in these recent races for the Red Bull team.
Yes.
Very close to his teammate Bonky, and now he's actually 3 tenths ahead of him. So Bonky will be wanting to be ahead of his teammate, obviously, in that crucial fight for P2. And then obviously, make a statement that Bonky's going to be going for the championship next season, because I don't believe we'll be allowing Gecko to be racing in Tier 2 next season.
That'd be new information, I'm pretty sure, because Gecko is going to Red Bull for next season. And that would be a very interesting lineup. Yeah, you said alongside Gecko for Red Bull.
Alongside JTK, sorry, I meant to say, is it not?
Okay. Well, I think JTK's at Mercedes next season, and that's why we were questioning why did Cryptic, feel that comfortable letting JTK go? Because I think it originally was going to be Haunted he was alongside. We'll have a full lineup sorted soon, but yeah, JTK at Mercedes. It was going to be with Haunted originally. Now Haunted's back at the Alpine Academy. Going to be taking on a bigger role there. And yeah, that's what it seems like, so we'll figure it out once the full lineups are released. Zatsy will have to help out with that. And with that being said, we've got Wavy Knife we're on board with now, trying to get out of the bottom 5. Then we'll switch to drivers who need to really improve lap times here, because Zakaria is on that area just above the drop zone, and Wavy is on a lap that should set him, although it's not the most comfortable lap from what we're seeing, should set him in the top 10 and safely through. Alistair and a couple other drivers in front are retired from the session, believing they're safe, and Wavy Knife is going to be 12th. That's not the best of laps, but considering you just need to beat one driver on pace right now at this moment, well, it may be just okay. Blue Goggy is now coming through the last corner before the strip, and then he gets stripping down the straight, where we'll find out if he can get through Sector 2 with a lap that will get him into Q2. Now we've got yellow flags for the Mercedes. Not many cars out on track, but not many need to improve anyway, Eoin.
No. Literally just need to, like you say, beat one car on a time lap, and it looks like, bless him, Hazza hasn't really got the pace today. Let's hope he can get a good lap in here in this final run in Q1 for him to get out of Q1 on his debut Grand Prix.
And Blugagi is 9th, so it's going to knock Hazza time down to the bottom area, and he's 2 tenths up only. That's not going to be enough. Well, now he's coming through the sector split 7 tenths up. So, let's see.
Go on,
the other AlphaTauri of Kipu is on an outlap, but will not make the checkered flag as of the current moment.
Hazza was up by
at this
7
pace.
tenths.
So Tadpole, excuse me, pointed something out about Zatsy's lineups for Ferrari. Apparently Hazza time maybe was not on the lineups prior to the time he's supposed to be, so he really would have been serving a qualifying ban, but either way, first laps in the league, let's see how they are, 8 tenths up. This is not looking good, Eoin, for the Alfa Romeo driver.
Well, he was 7 tenths up, and what was he up at that split there?
Well, let's see, he's got one more corner to negotiate, coming to the line. Where will he go? Will he improve any places or just improve the lap time? He will not improve any places. He did improve the lap time. He is out of qualifying with only 12 seconds remaining. And I believe, unless he goes for another one, or if not, Invade can back off of this lap that he's on right now. Wavy Knife to the pits. Kipu on a lap now. He got to the checkered flag. We've got Gecko on a lap as well. We'll watch him come to the line first because Gecko will either head to the pit lane or just do this lap on a use set, just wanting to get some more practice in. He'll stay second, obviously. Blue Goggy was not on an extra lap. He'll be safe. That's actually a really good lap from him. Kipu coming through. Kipu doesn't need to do much more. Neither does Invade. Actually, he has a time. Let's see if he is on another lap or not. He's not. Okay, good to know.
Oh, Blue
Invade.
Goggy, oh, Blue Goggy crashed his car and he's out.
Maybe. We'll find out by Q2. That is past the line. That happened with Term and him in Canada, so that might be true. You are right. Yep, he's 15th. Yep, you're right. Blue Goggy has another
What an idiot.
You know, brain moment, I'll call it. I don't know what to say. I want to be nice. I want to be nice to him, but that was not smart from him. And Vade didn't need to improve, but he still did anyway. And Kippu is not improving, but yeah, that's your bottom three then. Blue Goggy has a time and Zakaria. So Blue Goggy was safely through into the next round of qualifying in 9th place, but then he decides to crash the car coming across the line, thinking this is either short qualifying or doing it anyway, and ends up not being able to compete in Q2. And I think Kippu's very lucky not to hit him, but Kippu did improve as well. So fair enough to Kippu and Invade to improve laps when they didn't need to, but Blue Goggy, though, that is probably going to go down in RPL history in some of the top 10, top 20 what are you doing moments in qualifying.
I'm messaging him now
That's
to
silly.
see what was going through his mind.
That happened in Canada, but through no fault of his own. Oh, and you remember that when Term came across the line, crashed right in front of him, and you know, he was already out of qualifying. Term was. Blue Goggy was not. Blue Goggy was improving, and he hit Term's car across the line and couldn't compete in the next round of qualifying. So this is the same type of thing, except no one else to blame but himself. So, top of the board in Q1, 31.8 from JTK. We're going to get to Q2 in just a moment. Owen, just a reminder for our RPL viewers, we've got over 10 of them at one point. We have 13 now. We have next week for Tier 2, the first opening round of Season 12. We've got F1 Tier 1 in Hungary tomorrow, and then Formula Endurance has a finale in Japan. That is going to decide the Constructors' Championship between Red Bull and McLaren. JTK, top of the board. Gecko, Bonkers, J&T, and Joe Wilson, your top 5. No surprise with the cars that are there. Tadpole just outside there. Hunted as well, assumingly sandbagging, but he had issues in this qualifying session. We'll keep an eye out for in Q2. Our bottom area, though, Blue Goggy has a time, and Zakaria. Zakaria had a qualifying ban, no surprise there. Has a time, was slow. Blue Goggy was very smart, crashing his car across the line, therefore he couldn't compete in the next round, and gave all the drivers in front of him much more breathing room, because now 4 will be eliminated, Owen, in the next round.
Correct. Yeah, we're going to tell him. I don't know what he was cooking there.
Yeah, that was
Miniku said certified
silly.
Blue Goggy 14. That was a certified Blue Goggy 14 moment.
That was very silly from Blue Goggy. I don't know what he was doing, but that was not smart. Q2 underway. 15 minutes of this qualifying session. Just feels like it's never going to end. So, I want to mention the next season lineup from what we've seen thus far from Zatsy's lineup. I want to see what things look like here.
Wasn't in it. I checked.
I have it somewhere.
So Hazel was not in the lineup. It was supposed to be Beano or some shit.
Yes,
he was not there.
and he was questionable too. Unless that's the same person, but I don't think it is.
I searched on the Discord Hazard time, and Hazard time's a different person.
So here we go.
Here's served a quali ban there.
Yeah.
And,
so that should have been short qualifying
then.
then. That's a waste of time. That's disappointing. Okay, so here's next season's lineup for those of you wanting to be aware of this. We've got lineups from many different teams sorted out. We've got Hunted, who's going to be the Season 12 Tier 2 team principal at Alpine. Beatnik was originally the Red Bull driver, but terminated his contract. We have Joe Wilson, full-time next season for Mercedes. Mintoki, full-time for Aston Martin next season. Tadpole, full-time for Alpine. Kippu, a reserve for Alpine, which I don't know why he's not full-time for them, but that's his choice. Mythic at Williams. Redfire Tiger at AlphaTauri. Dom and Zomans at Haas. Wavy in Aston Martin once again. Invade at Alfa Romeo, which I would say is deserved. A little bit higher up than Haas, in my opinion. Valken McLaren. Hunted is at the McLaren Academy rather than what it shows on here at Mercedes. JTK is at Mercedes. Alex Norris Alpine. Ardell and Ferrari with J&T. And Bonkers going to go for the championship in Red Bull. And now we have all 15 cars going out on the racetrack for once here. And our first one will be Draco. And I'll have you go on board with him, Owen.
Draco, first one again. Oh, world class. Right, let's see. What Mr. Draco can do. Let me get the telemetry on for me so I can see this stuff. And coming in here through the first corner, nice on the brakes, missing the apex. So that's fine. You don't really want to hit the apex exactly there. I don't have much track experience on this track, to be fair. I don't think I've actually ever done a race around here in RPL. So I don't actually know what's going on.
That sounds
yes, now down the DRS straight, breaking just at the 100-meter board. Turning this is a terrifying corner. You go slightly wider into the wall, no remorse, no quarter given. Another horrendously hard braking zone into the chicane, which is just very slow and sluggish and just horrible to drive if you don't have the right setup. Because you run such low wings, the setup around that particular section is abysmal. Now into the absolute zoom-in section. He goes purple, of course. He's the only person to reach that part of the circuit yet. Goes very wide, very, very bad through there. You're going to want to go a lot neater and tidier, closer to the inside line there. And down the beautiful Vegas Strip we come. Just listen to that engine absolutely rupture the engine cover. And into the chicane, missing the apexes again. Horrible lines through there. Draco is not hitting these lines as good as you want to, but if it's a banker lap, I suppose that's okay. But let's see where it puts him. Obviously, it's going to put him first. But is it going to be in the 32s or going to be in the 33s again? It's going to be in the 33 zeros.
33-0. That's the lap time to beat here in Q2 thus far. We have a Haas crossing the line now. Everybody's on a lap except for Alistair for Alfa Romeo. Invade crosses the line, and he will have to go again, surely. We've got a Red Bull next. That is JTK for that team, 32-1. Who else do we have crossing the line? We have an Aston Martin. That is Mintoki. Mintoki is second fastest now. We have a Ferrari around both cars now. Here we go. Slipstream from both Ferraris getting a nice little draft as J&T and Gecko as they both cross the line. J&T fastest, Gecko slower. And that almost got close between them after the line, too. Both Mercedes crossing the line, too. Wavy goes 6th. Joe Wilson is next. Let's see what both Mercedes drivers do. Critical for them to be fast and up there in the lineup. Both of them are not up there in the lineup. That is disappointing. Hunted and Tadpole become the next cars to cross the line. Tadpole is first before Hunted. Tadpole 33-0. Tadpole, will he be ahead of Hunted when Hunted crosses the line? Hunted will be behind him because Hunted set a lap that is not representative whatsoever. And then Bonkers being the last one to cross the line, he goes third fastest, behind JTK. So Kipu's 10th as well for AlphaTauri, and we're gonna go on board with Hunted right here. Hunted spoke about this wall on the left side being very close for comfort in the Tier 1 race. And in the Tier 1 race here, he had a really good chance at a good result late in the race when a safety car came out, but ended up colliding with Cookie. So now Hunted comes through with his teammate not far up the road, probably going to give him a little bit of a tow down that straight on the strip. But we'll find out here with Hunted being 13th if he can get himself in that top 10, which is much needed. I mean, you got Mythic in this session, you got Kipu, you got Invade, you got Alistair. Those seem to be those cars who likely will go out, but we'll find out if any of them can make any big surprises in the session as here comes the slipstream from the McLarens. Hunted getting the tow from Tadpole, but how much is this going to increase Hunted's speed? He's at 220, 221,
oh
23, 24.
Me.
224 into Sector 3 here. I mean, that is just about the same amount of lap time, or not lap time, mile per hour we saw from the Ferraris when they were much more closer to one another on the last lap of the race 2 seasons ago. And on this run, here comes Hunted to the line, 5th for McLaren. And they still can take 3rd away from Mercedes, but they have to have a lot happen. They currently hold 4th nonetheless, and they clinch at least that at the worst for their constructors fight that they've had all season. They were leading the championship at one point. There's been 3 teams to lead the constructors this season: Mercedes, McLaren, and Red Bull. And the only one that is in contention that has not led it of those 3 teams that are still in contention is Ferrari. Would be a nice shock for them to do so now when it matters most. Alistair for the Ferrari Academy for Alfa Romeo is on a lap right now, and let's find out what he's going to do. He's purple through Sector 1. And, I was just going to speak about Hunted, this race 2 seasons ago, Owen, when you weren't here, the last time you didn't show up for a weekend before recently in the season, that was the first time Hunted came back to RPL racing.
Was.
Little fun fact right there.
He's been absolutely on rails since, and he became a champion the season after his return. And obviously this season was disappointing. He's going to be looking for a wee bit of a recovery season next season to get back to those potential title-winning ways with the McLaren team again. Hopefully, a bit of stability will do him some good.
So, 1 pole of the season for him is a good achievement. He got some podiums recently, but now it's going to be Alistair, who's 12th across the line, and currently the bottom 4 you'd expect based on the pace of their cars are currently out and need to make some noise in order to get out of that bottom 4. Yeah, Hunted has not had a good season up until recently. I think the Austria race was a good one from him, though. Winning on track was nice. Then the podium finish, that was nice as well. And then the podium finish in Imola was another bright moment for the season with him. But yeah, it's been very disappointing from him. But now that he'll be in a rejuvenated area, full time, back with the team rather than going to Mercedes, I think is a good thing for him, and he'll be able to make the most of it. So yeah, I'll be happy to see that this next season here in season 12. Other changes I'll be happy to see as well. I mentioned Invade being an Alfa Romeo. I think that's really good for him. This Haas, I think he was in it either last season or the season before, and he was performing decent. This is when Invade was actually getting results but had no pace, and now he's got, as he showed in the Abu Dhabi race in Formula Endurance, pace, but finally got a result that's good. Even though he had maybe had a chance for better in Abu Dhabi, he still has been proving more, which is good. I'm glad to see. Invade actually does have a lot better pace in RPL than what he shows here a lot. Just never the results that end up coming from it. And then one other change I was happy to see is Valk to McLaren. You know, last season she was in Mercedes. Was in it again this season, but had a lot of disappointing results. The only big standout race that I can recall is Japan, when returning to Mercedes after the change with Wavy. That was when crashed with Invade, started at the back of the grid, and ended up getting a P5 result. So, yeah, now McLaren will be a better car, I would assume, for her, and we'll find out what happens next season as well. Lots of drivers going places, and lots of drivers also staying in those same places. We'll see if we can get a better grid for next season too. In Tier 2, we had 20 drivers a lot, or even 19, a decent bit, and now there was a small decline as the season started to end. So we'll find out what happens during the 11-race season. And right now, Gecko is improving by 9/10. This is really good from him. This showed his first set on used tires was not a good lap.
Pretty sure he must have done worn tires, to be fair. Most people do just use the Q1 sets and Q2 to almost just dropped half my setup on the floor. Yeah, just to get a lap in and then make sure they don't waste too many sets of tires for the race. You always want to save a set of softs for the race if you can. He's on for a pole position here. He's 1.2 seconds up on his time. So there he comes. He's a rapid boy.
Well, let's see. Gecko has been the bright star this season. Similar stats to Bunkers, but he's worse in the penalty points and DNF section. Hopefully, this lap was good enough to get him through to Q3, and it surely is. Ferrari 1-2. They're back on top, just like they were in Season 9. Let's find out who else is going to be starting a lap here. I think there was someone who was on a lap but went back to the pit lane just a moment ago. The next car starting a lap is a McLaren. It's Tadpole. Or Hunted, excuse me. It's Hunted. And yeah. Tadpole and Hunted, 2 drivers who not really had a good season. I think besides the win that we saw from Tadpole in Canada, which was a good highlight of the season for him, it's really not been the best of seasons for Tadpole. He had the 1 podium for Alpine, which he gets every season, it seems. The 1 podium, or the 1 win for McLaren. But besides that, I don't really think I've seen many outstanding performances from him that often. And his big motive, which has set him back, has been the screen freezes, and that's exactly what got McLaren out of this title fight for the constructors when they were leading by 3 points at one point in the opening rounds. So yeah, they had to make some driver changes. They had Beatnik for a little bit to claw them back up. They had Hunted getting better results, but it was just too little too late as the Ferrari Academy cars give some slipstream here down the DRS straight here. I mean, I don't know how you describe Tadpole's season here, so we're about to go on board with Mythic, Owen, but I would describe it as up and down, inconsistent, some good moments, some really bad moments. So yeah.
Yeah, I just say inconsistency would be the story of his season. To be fair, he had one win. That's his only podium all season, and he's just been, just around to the points every other race. So, underachiever, I'd say. He underachieved.
Yeah.
He could have done a
No
lot
way.
better.
Well, here comes Mythic, needing to improve 2 points in the last 20 races that he has been a part of. He's been on a really good streak of consecutive races. We've got Gecko retiring, believing he's safe, and Kipu is out of qualifying in that bottom 4 area with just 2 minutes remaining. Mythic is down on the time, so we're switching to Invade then. Invade is up by 2/10, coming through the sector split. And that's good and all, but Invade needs to still improve more. He can't be just only 2/10 up and get through right now. He needs to improve, and he's got a car in front of him, the McLaren. He's going to try to get some slipstream off of, but almost hits the back of the McLaren, getting out of the way. Now we've got the long strip here. He's coming through 2/10 still. It's not enough for Invade. Invade needs to find time. We've got Mintoki crossing the line to go fourth. That should get him safe. JTK is retired. Invade just went too deep, and that's going to be it from him unless he gets another lap in, and now getting out of the way of the Mercedes. You almost hit him. That was wavy. Still need to improve in case someone in that bottom 4 beats that 10th place car. He does improve, but does not improve any places. That's not good.
Pretty sure everyone's
We have a
finished. Yeah, everyone's finished.
McLaren, yeah, just about. Joe Wilson's up, but that doesn't matter.
I'm gonna go get a nice drink to make sure my voice doesn't go dry. I'll be back shortly.
All right, well, Alistair's in the runoff area. That's at the turn 5 area, and I'm surprised he didn't get disqualified by the game, but Invade is out, Kipu's out, Mythic on a lap now, but this is not going to be it. These guys need to get back to the line before the time runs out, and the only one who has a chance to do so in the thick of time is Mythic, but even then, I don't think he's going to do it. So I think we've got a bottom 4 decided. Wavy was up, Draco was up. We're going to see who else is crossing the line. The one who's going to be improving surely, not anymore, was Joe Wilson. We've got the McLaren of Tadpole on a out lap. Now going to be a lap. Now everyone else is either on an in lap or a lap. I might do what Eoin said too and grab a drink in just a moment. But yeah, I think that's going to be it to decide it. If Mythic does not cross the line here, and everybody can just retire in just a moment. Let's see. Mythic has backed off. We still have yellow flags, so I can't see how much time is left in this session. There's 6 seconds, and the bottom 4 have been decided. Both Haas's, an Alfa Romeo of Alistair, the Ferrari Academy teammate to them, and Kipu out of qualifying. That's your bottom 4 out. That is not good at all. We still got people improving, so we're going to see who comes across the line and make sure no one DNFs. That was close. Bonkers second for Q2. And then the Alpine will cross the line now, coming to the pits, so that will be it. Tadpole, Hunted, still want to improve. Hunted crosses the line. Now Tadpole will come across the line. We'll see him improve in just a moment, but in the meantime, no texting while driving, Matt. Oh. That's what Fernando Borings was saying to Invade. Tadpole will be the last one across the checker flag. I got 12 of you watching. Here's what we'll do. We will run a 30-second ad break before Eoin gets back, and we'll run. We'll also end up. Eoin and I both will be back in just a moment. With that being said, so in the meantime, I'm gonna grab a water. Q3 underway in just a moment. All right, I dropped my controller, so I will give the rundown of Q2 quickly. Gecko, Bunkers, J&T, the top 5, then JTK and Tadpole, the other runners. We've got Mythic, Alistair, has a time, and Kipu out of the bottom 5. Oh, man. All right, so now time for poll predictions here for Q3. Let's find out what drivers will be doing. I did not actually put down the poll time from the last time we were here. So now we've got Q3 underway. 10 drivers competing for pole position, 12 minutes. And last time we were here, like I said, that person for Alpine got pole. In Tier 1, it was Reese Dainty, I believe, getting pole. Let me just fact check that quickly. I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm a little concerned with that. The mouse is not working on the computer. Well, that's concerning. Let me turn it on and then turn it off again. It's not working. Oh, no. All right. Well, Eoin's not back. In the meantime, that's unfortunate. Tier 1 pole. I mean, I can look up the lap time, but I'm not going to do so at the current moment. So get your predictions in for the top 3, let alone the top 10. I need to check the YouTube then to see who was on pole position for sure. It was you? Was it really? No, it wasn't.
No.
So, yeah, with that being said.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. We have Q3 underway, and we're going to predict some top 3 drivers who we are going to have, in my opinion, the top 3 being made up of, in no particular order, Bonkers, Gecko, and JTK.
I agree. I was literally saying the same 3. Hunted maybe.
I think J&T will be there, though, in the top 4. Surely. Has to be. He's been all session, so. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
And we'll see what happens in the meantime, then. Pole prediction, in terms of lap time, I'm going to look up what the pole was last season. But keep in mind, for the race, though, folks, we have pit stop loss being 17 seconds and the ERS gain back in the pit lane being 23 seconds. I don't understand why this mouse is not working now. That is not good. This mouse for the computer is not working. We'll figure that out later. Who cares?
Oh, yes.
Well, I'll have you go on board then, Eoin, and talk us through Gecko's lap. We've not covered this track a whole lot in qualifying, so now your chances to do so now.
Yes. Braking at the 75-meter point. Going very wide. You want to set up the next corner. And get a look at that. Beautiful. Oh, almost touching the wall. That's absolutely remarkable. We have a squiggle on the exit. Alright, down with the DRS activated. Looking for that 100-meter board. Freaking right at it and turning in. Oh, he's locked up a little bit on the entrance, but that's okay. He's made it without hitting the wall. Very tight, then go really wide as soon as you start braking. You want to try and brake in as much straight as the line as possible from that corner. And then, yes, through the little sloppery bits, so, you know, a little bit of a bogged down section. Then back onto the power. You feel the strength of the car beneath you where these little sectors. In a road car, this would be terrifying. In an F1 car, it's flat. A little bit flat.
31.4, by the way, was the Tier 1 pole time, whereas the Tier 2 pole time was a 31.9 the last time we were here. So just something to note for those of you making predictions. Oh, and continue. Sorry to cut in.
No problem, son. And yes, in the kilometers per hour, he's going to be reaching the 350 kilometers per hour. 52 there for a second. 51 now. Max speed of these F1 cars. A little bit wide. This is going to be a bit of a sloppy first lap for Gecko, but it'll probably still be absolutely rapid. Here we come. Through the final flat-out corner. As tight to the left as you can to minimize the time to the line. It's a 1:31.3.
That is faster than the Tier 1 pole time last season. Next across the line is both McLarens. Hunted. Second, the Aston of Mintoki. Had a really good debut for the team. Third. Next up, here come the Red Bulls. Bonkers first. And Bonkers, who won this race in Season 9, will be second. Front row for him. And then the Mercedes of Joe Wilson will do better than Hunted. We've got J&T, who is coming into the pit lane, aborting that.
Draco! Oh, he's coming
Pits.
Oh, he crossed the pit line.
Oh, no!
I don't care.
Yeah, it's qualifying. No one will bother or be bothered by it. Tadpole we watch now. for McLaren, and we'll figure out
He's validated.
if he will go again, because he's going to be hit with an invalidated lap time. JTK's on an out lap. Wavy's on a lap. He's one of the only ones on a lap that does not have one. And we'll see what he does now. So we're already going faster than what the Tier 1 pole time was. We'll figure out what Gecko does on the second run then.
It's crazy that we're quicker than Tier 1. I wonder what that says about certain drivers in this tier.
Yeah, that is a fair point, actually. I think if anyone were to be moved up, though, based on their pace, it would be JTK and Gecko. They've been pretty fast. Bunky would be too, but he's been inconsistent. That doesn't matter right now. What matters is Wavy crossing the line for Mercedes. They need a good qualifying. Here he comes across the line to be sixth, slowest of them all. That is not what they need.
Why? My question to Wavy Knife is, why have you put yourself in that mark when Mintoki, no offense, is clearly better?
Well, that would actually help the constructor's sake.
It's just absolute poor management. I can't lie. I love the man, but that's poor management from Wavy Knife.
And you're from the team too. So,
well, I'm leaving now because well, I'm going to be leaving soon because they didn't resign me for Tier 1 today. So,
cry more, Eoin. I'm kidding.
I will be.
No. Okay. Well, you will be when you exit the door with Toto Wolff shutting it in your face. Toto Wolff being Josh and Wavy. Now, they've made some good decisions, but this is the first one I will say that they made a bad decision on. So Tadpole, coming across the line, gonna be pitting. So we go to JTK then, who is gonna be trying to get yet another pole position. He's had two already, and we'll find out if he can add a third tonight. He is coming through the sector split 109.6. That's better than what he did, I believe, in previous qualifying sessions. So there's hope for him at the end of the tunnel to get a top 3 spot. Can he get, though, on the front row or improve the pole position time? That benchmark is going to be a 31.3, better by 300ths. JTK, provisional pole. Yeah, once again here in RPL.
Yes.
Now J&T is up, and all eyes are on him to try and take away a pole position here. I spoke about JTK and his poles. Two in RPL, and they all came this season. Zandvoort was the first one, and then he got one after that in recent races. So now we'll find out, with J&T coming across the line, where he can put his Ferrari. This Ferrari, a really strong car. It showed that last season in qualifying with Florian, and their pole positions this season with Gecko and Zetzi. But J&T, though, to a surprise to some, does have an RPL pole position, but he's not had one since season 5. And this is the second time he's been in Ferrari this season, with a strong chance to do so. And I really think if there's any chance to do so tonight, or at least get himself third, this will be it. Going over the curbs and now heading to the last corner here that he's approaching. J&T, it's been since season 5, since he's had a pole position. It's the call to Ferrari and does not get it, but he's in the top 5 though, so he's chasing after the second row though in the meantime. Draco on a lap for Alpine. They took pole position in this race 2 seasons ago, and they're looking for their first points finish this season in a night race of the 4 that we've ran. Here he comes. Back straight, DRS, strip.
There we go. Yes, the Alpine is a very quick car in a straight line. You see them maxing out at 353 kilometers per hour. Not sure what that is in miles per hour because I'm not American. And
here he comes. The lap time will be set for him, and it will be somewhere in the top 8, but it will be 8th, just ahead of Wavy. We've now got other drivers getting ready for their final runs, Mintoki being the first one. Minico says in chat, I'll say this though, the Tier 1 settings for Merc and Aston are bangers, so we got that going, with help from Josh, of course. And the Alpine can max out quite well here, Minico says, so something to note. I mean, our top cars in a straight line, Red Bull, AlphaTauri, McLaren, Alpine. Make note of that, though, for those of you watching. Here comes Mintoki. Last flying lap for him, and then we'll switch it. Mintoki coming through the tricky parts of Sector 1 right here. There's a lot more space to the left there in real life, but in the game, with the way they scanned it, not as much. Got a Ferrari to the right side. He's going to avoid it. Now here he comes. This right-hand corner, so tricky on the brakes. Got a curb right there on the right side, and you got some curbing to the left side with the wall much closer. Now the chicane, which can easily catch a driver out. About 3-4 corners here. That sphere on the left side, very bright in real life.
Oh.
Not so bright right there. That slide from Mintoki. Now coming out of the corner, he's going to cross the sector split. It will be up on the time, surely. Yes, it will, a 10th. So he has improvements that he is making. Now here he comes here to the braking zone. It was Reese and Tadpole collided here in Tier 2. Ron Haranotmir and others with a big collision in the top leagues. Now, here comes Mintoki down the strip and looking to improve even more. That Aston not very fast in the straight lines to make the most of it in the corners. And here he goes, DRS applied.
Mintoki first sector is on par with Bonkers' first sector. In his lap, second sector, he's up by 3/10. I'll check the delta now.
So,
26-0.
Mintoki jumping the curbs,
He's
heading
matching
through
Bonkers' lap.
against the wall. This could be important for a shocking pole position. Aston Martin would need this. This would be very special. They've had a very poor season. Can they get their best qualifying? 4th. That's the second row for them. They have been 8th in the constructor standings. Only a best finish of 4th this season. They qualify 4th right now. Wavy has traffic, but he's up by 3/10.
Mintoki matched Bonky in both the first sectors, with the last sectors 3/10 slower, which is what cost him the position. You would have got top 3 there, Mintoki, if he just didn't have a bad last sector.
Well, Wavy's improving and could get past Draco, so that's hope too. At the end of the
Well
tunnel
done,
for the
Wavy,
Mercedes
beating
Academy.
a Alpine car in the Mercedes. That's absolutely marvelous.
Yeah, it is. Here comes Wavy. Across the line. And he was improving in the first and second sector. He finally does something in the third sector. Only going to be a best of 8th, though. We still have cars crossing the line now on their final laps. Hunted will not get the checkered flag. That will be it from Hunted. Best of 7th. J&T on an outlap can't get to the checkered flag in time. And Tadpole can't either. So it's now up to the top 5 to make some noise here in the ending bits of qualifying. Joe Wilson trying to get slipstream. Bonkers on a lap. Backed off. Gecko. Now our sights will go to him. 33 thousandths down. Him and JTK have been the shining stars of Q3. And now 2/10 up for Gecko. Ooh. That is important to claim second place in the championship with a good qualifying. He has a 5-point buffer over Bonkers. And not only does he have a 5-point buffer, but he has 2/10 up right now on the timing charts. He has Ferrari, a team that he's racing for, needing to be on pole position, 30 points back in the Constructors' Championship. Now, 3/10 up almost on the time. Just a few more corners to go.
Mental.
Here he comes. Both Ferraris raced side by side to the line in this race 2 seasons ago. They didn't have a pole position here in Tier 1. They didn't have a pole position here in the last time here in Tier 2. But Gecko will improve. 31-2. Can JTK clap back at it? He's up more and trying to claim a 3rd pole position. It's been bright sights for JTK this season, and it will still be.
He's done it!
31-1. His 3rd pole position in RPL comes in Vegas. And he is rolling the dice on that one.
I've seen the sector time. Gecko, he actually lost time in the last sector. Bonky seems to have hit a wall. He's got front wing damage, so he can only do 3rd at best. But yes, Gecko was on for an absolutely marvelous lap. He was slightly slower than his first lap in the second sector, and then he was a 10th slower in the last sector. So Gecko's personal, projected best would have been absolutely crazy, but he made the mistake.
One mistake can catch a driver out, and we're very aware of that. It's Red Bull, Ferrari, Red Bull. And the top 3 we expected.
Yes, it was. Maybe not in this exact order. But there it is. Now we're waiting for Wavy to retire in the pits. Maybe you should retire from racing.
Well,
I'm sorry.
he's done well in the Aston. But it's time to retire racing in the Mercedes, though. That's what I say. 8th place right there for him. and Joe Wilson, a decent lap, but it won't help their case for the Constructors' Championship. Looks like it's going to be against, going to be Ferrari against Red Bull, excuse me, but Ferrari obviously with the long shot, and they're showing that with their qualifying session too. JTK on top, 31-2, or 31-1. 31-2 though, Gecko on our front row. Then Bonkers third, and Mintoki the standout in this session for Aston Martin. Joe Wilson, 5th place. J&T a little bit of disappointment for Ferrari only being 6th. And Hunted and Tadpole for McLaren 7th and 10th. They're going to claim 4th in the Constructors regardless, but they can try to get 3rd. They need a 1-2 though, with Mercedes scoring minimal points. Wavy 8th, Draco 9th. That's your order right there. Something to mention with the Alpine being 9th, they're at a 10-point gap over Williams for 5th. AlphaTauri have 10 points. They're last. They're trying not to finish last. They need a lot of points in order not to finish last, but looks like that's going to happen. So, 25 laps ahead of us here in Las Vegas tonight. The strategy being soft, hard, medium, hard, and a potential for soft, medium. We'll find out what strategy the drivers will go with. In the meantime, get your final predictions in now.
Yes.
And like I mentioned, 17 seconds you lose in the pit lane, 23% you lose on battery. A 3-way constructors fight for the race tonight. A drivers' championship that's already been clinched, but the battle remains for 2nd place between Gecko and Bunkers. Other places still trying to be claimed. We've got Beatnik, who will claim 5th place with Cintrix not being here, and Tadpole and Hunted have a battle brewing for 7th and what could become 6th. Lastly, 6 drivers this season have taken wins and poles. 4 teams have taken wins and poles. Now the last race of the season is right in front of our eyes now, just before Season 12. The longest calendar we've had in in Tier 2 comes in Season 11. 13 drivers on podium, 7 teams. Aston have a best finish of 4th. Haas have a best finish of 5th. And AlphaTauri, another disappointing season, but a best finish of 8th, though. Lots more points finishes, just not higher points finishes. With that being said, 25 laps. Get your last minute predictions in now. Joe Wilson win. All right.
That was a crazy prediction from
yeah, it is. Well,
from Fernando
we've seen
Burgers.
crazy races happen here. We saw Haas on podium in Season 9. We'll find out if that happens again. We're just waiting for the lights to come on here. Who's gonna shake and bake, roll the dice, whatever saying you want to use here in Vegas. Gonna get lucky, gonna gamble. We'll find out in just a moment.
There we go.
The 5 lights are coming on for the final time in Season 11, Tier 2. They come on and they go off. The lights are out. Away we go. Gecko off the line with a little bit of wheel spin. Squirrely there. Going to be side by side with Bonkers. JTK, though, with the lead. 4 wide in the background. 4 wide, and that's almost a collision with the Alpine and Draco. They're still 3 wide, though, and they're all figuring it out here in the back of the field. We're going to watch that for the meantime because both AlphaTauris almost come to collision, and now up in front of that, Hunted trying to get J&T. And now, here they go! That was tight. J&T trying to cover it. Hunted was there, and now, here comes Hunted down the inside of both of them. Both Joe Wilson and J&T was challenging. J&T clunks the wall. That's damage to the Ferrari. And now at the back of the field, they still race 2 wide here. J&T losing spots now due to the damage. Tadpole gets him too. Here comes the other drivers trying to pick him off. Wavy losing places on lap 1. J&T's in the runoff. And Mythic down the inside, not going to make the move. And J&T losing the most places on lap 1 with that damage, clunking the wall massively.
This front left end plate is completely gone off that Ferrari car. It's devastating for the team in the constructors battle, but the fight for the bottom end of the points is absolutely disgusting right now. With how close everyone is. Alistair is now right on the back of Mythic.
Here he comes. Can Alistair make the move? I think it's also going to be Zakaria making the move. 3 wide here down the strip. They are 3 abreast, and for the lead, it's also getting close. Tadpole and Draco as well in the mix. The lead, though, Gecko almost got in the back there of the race leader, but did not do it. Joe Wilson and Hunted traded spots, and now Zakaria, Alistair, Mythic is the places into Sector 3. Zakaria up 7, up 3 for Tadpole, up 2 for Hazatime. Kipu and J&T down places, not helpful for them, and Hunted makes the move at turn 1 to get through. Oh! And now Invade gets Mythic. The teammates do swap it around. Both AlphaTauri still remain close. Both of them low on fuel, starting low on fuel. And J&T with that wing damage that he picked up, staying out.
Why are you saying that?
I don't know why either. I mean, you have damage. You should be pitting. Blue Goggy has a time. Also trading spots in the background, too, to make it one car in between both AlphaTauris. Those AlphaTauris majorly underfueled.
Oh, no! What have you done?
Oh, no. Blue Goggy facing the wrong way. And I don't think he has damage, Blue Goggy, but has a time.
Also just completely
no front wing.
Destroyed that corner. He just forgot to brake. And he pretty much straight lined the bloody AlphaTauri of Blue Goggy. What a disgusting debut race for Hazard there.
Second place up for grabs. Here comes Bonkers on Gecko. Championship rival for second place. Can he make the move? Gecko protecting. Bonkers trying to go around the outside. The long way around. Can't do it.
Yes, if Gecko finishes P3 and Bonky finishes P2, Gecko will still beat him by 2 points. So Bonky needs to win this race. And if Bonky wins and Gecko comes second, then Bonky will take P2 in the title. Needs to win by more than 5 points.
Very vital information right there. JTK still remains the race leader, and Hunt had also making a move.
He's gone off.
That's why Hunt had gone through. Joe Wilson did too. Has a time finally into the pit lane. Mythic made a move on Kipu, and now everyone just trying to find their pieces on the grid. Here's Mythic and Kipu racing it out for 13th. Not going to make anything there, so we switch back to the race leaders.
Kipu has underfueled the car, interestingly enough, and Mythic goes down the inside of him. Brilliant move from Mythic. Really late to the break, so still wheel to wheel.
He's trying to go around the outside still. You're right about that. That is a good move, actually, from Mythic. I just caught the tail end of that.
Absolutely brilliant send from Mythic. I have to commend him on that. Not seen much of Mythic this season. He's a good man, but
yeah,
it's very quick.
Finish.
But
1 point. You know, that's what he's going to end off with, probably. It came in Japan when Blue Goggy was penalized. But now the DRS is wide open for Gecko, and this is his chance to make the move for the race lead if he wants to. Here he comes, slipstreaming JTK, staying behind, and now not gonna pull out. Oh, here!
No!
Making the move on the outside line on Gecko, squeezing past. Wow.
Gecko was getting too confident, waiting up behind JTK, that he got absolutely robbed by Bonkers. And if JTK was a good teammate here, it would help Bonky win this race, but obviously JTK will be here next to Alistair. What's happened?
Alistair's out. That's
the wall.
On the side of the road.
Car.
J&T is collided with Kipu. Safety car is out. You are correct.
J&T, what are you doing? J&T crossing the pit entry line. Naughty, naughty. Will Ryan Searles send that one in? No, because he didn't get on
I did not pick it up.
I picked it up, but I won't be sending it in, so I don't care.
I'm not going to worry about it. Got a lot of flack for that. Safety car out on lap 4 of this race. So, yeah.
Well, not surprising that was a safety car at a bloody Las Vegas Grand Prix, is there?
Alistair coming back this season, he'll get another chance fully for next season again.
Let me make sure my thing is working. I think my live timing is working okay, because I have no clue if it's gonna work properly due to the track wasn't working in the qualifying one, so it wouldn't set.
Right.
And I don't know if it's working anymore.
Alrighty.
So I hope it's working.
Okay, so do any of our race leaders pit then? I mean, we've had Mythic, Has a Time, and J&T come in for hard tires. From what I'm aware of, those hard tires actually can make the end of the race here if you have good tire wear. If you're a Ferrari, though, good luck. JTK is in. Bonker stays out. Gecko stays out. Joe Wilson is in. So we have a mix in strategy here from the folks on our grid. So, JTK, Tadpole, Draco, Joe Wilson, all pitting. Blue Goggy still, hopefully, I would hope here, is going to fix the underfueling situation under the safety car. But, yeah, we have 8 drivers who've stayed out. We'll figure out what they do with that. Safety car halting thing. So just a reminder, folks, to follow the RPL Formula 1 YouTube. It's the same name. The Twitch as well would be great for you guys to do, too. Racing each weekend. And with that being said, we've got F1 Tier 1 in Hungary tomorrow, Formula Endurance in Japan. Owen, are you still there? You went quiet.
I don't know what I've done here. Hold on.
Okay, I will let you figure that out.
I've done something. I don't know what's
I don't want to take up the entire talking time. Give you a chance to talk too.
I'm doing something with my database right now. I think I'm gonna have absolutely. I think I'm gonna have broken it, to be honest.
Why do some people say the lobby is glitching? I don't really see that. Only Zatsy thinks that you see it. Alistair feels that way, but he crashed out though, so yeah.
What's going on with the lobby? What are they crying about?
Just a little glitch, she was saying, but I don't see anything, so
see nothing.
I think things are fine. I think things are fine. Alistair just feels that way because he crashed out. I think that's just my humble opinion.
I don't think there's going to be any, unfortunately,
No.
I don't think there's going to be any live timing
That's
data
fine.
and stuff from this, because for some reason it's showing up as an unknown circuit, because
Fun.
this game is fucking shocking. I don't know what's going on.
Well, that's okay. For the meantime, I guess.
Quite annoying.
We have
Oh, dear.
16 drivers left with us in this race lap. 6 out of 25 now. And the safety car will go in next time. And we'll get things going in just a little bit then. So, 8 drivers yet to pit. What do you think they're going to do then with the safety car being out now? And maybe waiting on a safety car. Owen, what do we think is going to happen then?
I'm still doing some issue fixing, so I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on here.
Alright, well, I'll let you figure that out. And I'll take over in the meantime by mentioning an 11 race calendar for next season. For Tier 2, we've mentioned that multiple times, but you know what we've not mentioned from that though, folks? We've not mentioned the fact that there are a few circuits we've not ran this game cycle. Here are the following circuits that you should either convince or not convince Owen to put in that calendar with Jack. Here are the tracks we've not held on the F123 cycle yet for Tier 2. Australia, Azerbaijan, Miami, China, and Abu Dhabi. Those are the 5 circuits not held yet. But these circuits that have been held as season openers or finales have been Qatar, Brazil, Bahrain, and Las Vegas. So if you want to do some peer pressure with Owen, message him over Discord. Or Jack as well. Invade saying, please Abu Dhabi next season. I agree with that. The FE race was really good. The Tier 1 race was really good there too. I agree. F2 has always been there. And had good races there too. China is one I agree that needs to be raced. We'll see what happens for next season's schedule. I've put my thoughts to Owen already. Now your time to do some peer pressuring. Safety car in this lap. Finally, Owen, we're getting back to racing. Let's go.
Yeah, so I've just decided to just ignore my
I
bloody
clapped like
database thing, because it's just this just I don't know what's going on. Hopefully it'll be fixed for Tier 1 and Tier Formula Endurance.
I agree.
But yeah,
Oh.
I apologize for people who really find all those fun stats interesting, because I do too. But
Yeah.
at least we get to watch the race.
Well, Bonkers leads over Gecko. And right now, he'd be taking second place in the championship, being their first repeat vice champion. And that vice champion is back underway. Green Flag Racing, once again, lap number 7. Mentoki passed Hunted before the line and then gave it up. But now will lose the place to Wavy Knife, who's in on the action. Here he goes, down the inside. He's through. Gecko taking a wider line in front, you saw, but JTK gets Kipu. So JTK making the noise already, making the most of those fresher tires, and now Tadpole will be looking to do so too. He's got Draco there to follow. We've got JTK and Invade now. Invade is pinching JTK, not giving him an inch, helping out the teammate. They go 2x2, 3 rows deep to the turn. Zakaria. Oh, there goes Zakaria and Mintoki, making tons of contact, and JTK and Invade slip through. Tadpole also slipping through. Tadpole in the wall.
Oh,
Mintoki around.
No.
Mintoki's got damage, and he rear locked it, and now facing the wrong way, and now back the right way. That is
from what I saw there,
catastrophic.
Zakaria just went in a bit too deep and pushed Mintoki into the wall, and that caused a collision. But obviously, we'll review the footage, obviously. And Zakaria now coming through past Invade. Good overtake. Invade's gonna come back. Oh no!
Well, Invade is one of those guys you do not pit. Same with Zakaria. Zakaria had the qualifying ban from the back of the grid, and here comes Invade. Boosting that battery and going past. But not just yet. That Alpine straight line needs to be strong and banging down the straight. And here comes Tadpole.
Oh no!
3 abreast into the corner. Tadpole on the inside, picking off both. Draco also getting Kippu. We've got everybody in on the action right now.
Wavy Dice getting absolutely swarmed.
JTK wants to make up so many places because he pitted already and can make the rest of this race with that Red Bull tire wear.
Oh!
Around the outside, this is getting tricky. This is going to get tight, and JTK goes ahead. Draco also in on the action with Invade. How about a nice switchback right here? Can he pull it off? Oh, inside line. Here we go, side by side to the next corner, turn number 5, 2x2 again, but it's 2 rows deep. And Draco hitting Invade almost into the wall. This time no collision. And he gets the move done. Blue Goggy on Kippu. Are we going to see anyone rear lock it, trying to avoid the cars in front this time like Mintoki had happened? No. Good. Everyone keeping it clean and bonkers.
Oh, Mintoki almost did it again.
Second lead.
I don't know. Bonky's put a bloody rocket ship in that car. He's away.
Joe Wilson on Invade. Here he comes, getting the move done.
Oh, Zakaria getting a bit squirrely on the exits and still getting squirrely. His teammate gets past him. And now Mr. Wilson's going to come through. He's going to try and get both of them on this big Las Vegas strip.
Blue Goggy in the background also in on the mix with ex-teammate Invade. Here he comes. Blue Goggy pulling out now. Hunted gets second place from Gecko. You saw that in front right there in the braking zone. We'll switch to that now. Does Hunted keep it? Yes, for now. And now he'll hold up the train of cars where JTK will get there now. Blue Goggy getting swarmed up by Invade. Does Blue Goggy still go for this? Right now, no. Joe Wilson on Zakaria.
Oh, he's going for a Goggy!
Here we go. A pack of cars, 4 cars under a blanket to turn 1. Blue Goggy cuts in front. Zakaria out in the pit lane. J&T getting Invade. Invade trying to hold on and can't do so right now. Oh, that was Kippu clipping the wall. And JTK finally gets past Hunted after staying behind. And does he go for the dive on Gecko? No. So right now, Red Bull.
In the wall!
Oh no! Now that as JTK pouncing around the outside, that now becomes the inside if he were to make the move, but he didn't. Thing is, though, I was just going to say, Eoin, Red Bull clinched the Constructors' title right now. Ferrari needing more points. Mercedes going to be in a close battle for second still. Excuse me.
The JNT needs to get up the positions here after the bad start. And as it stands, the championship P2 leader is Bonky.
You go out there and do it if you want. So we got JTK and Gecko, wheel to wheel. It's going to be a Red Bull 1-2 now. And here comes Hunted. Hunted with the move as well. Can he get past both? Yes, for now with Gecko, but not on both. And Tadpole right there as well. In the background, the both Haas drivers go wheel to wheel. Mythic was thinking of a move down the inside, couldn't do it. Invade is there as well in the background. Oh my god. Gecko is in, finally.
In the undercut. Bonky will surely come in shortly then. I don't know why
Tadpole and DRS train as well. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't put on the safety car those guys who were were right there and had a chance to do so. Here comes Joe
Tadpole
Wilson.
has front wing damage on the front right.
Dicing it up with Tadpole. Who does?
Front right end plate damage for Tadpole.
Oh, okay.
So, no wonder he's losing a lot of time compared to the front runners. And the leader of this train is Wavy Knife.
So JNT, when he was hit earlier, was by Hunted, he feels. And right now he's racing the Academy teammate Tadpole. We've got Draco and a Mercedes sandwich. Bonkers, if he pits right now and comes out near Gecko, I mean, I think it's still going to be second for Bonkers then. He'd become the first repeat vice champion, but we've still got a race on our hands for 4th place. Here comes the moves. Draco gets Wavy, and now Joe Wilson in on the mix too with DRS. Here he comes on both, on the outside. Here he comes. He's going to hold it. Maxing out, revving out.
Alpine is crazy.
214, 215 around the outside. They battle it out here still. Draco holds on and remains ahead. Invade and Mythic do not swap spots, but they're within a DRS battle, and Wavy is now pulling out to the left-hand side and will be pitting. Draco and Wilson are still not done at it. Man, battles galore with these two.
This train now includes Blue Goggy. What in the world is Blue Goggy doing in this train?
Well, let's find out. JNT gets Tadpole. JTK is within a second of our race leader. Oh, he's tapping the back of Tadpole, moving him along. Kipu gets Mythic, and Kipu gets tagged. I was just going to say, by the way, about Bulgogi, apparently it's up for grabs originally with him and Kipu for the AlphaTauri seat, but now I think he's one of the drivers yet to sign a contract for next season. So this race right now in those medium tires, what can he prove from himself? That's what we want to see. We want to see him prove himself. And we'll see who gets the Red Bull spot too. Speaking of Red Bull, the race lead is at stake. They've got a 1-2. They've got the constructors lead right now. Trying to keep it. JTK, this move is inevitable. And he will reclaim the top spot. He's P number 1 once again.
Goggy got jinxed by you, Ryan, as soon as you said, "Oh, here it comes, Tadpole," is it? No, he's not. As soon as you said Goggy looking for the AlphaTauri seat, he went deep and spun as Hazard gets Mythic. Mythic is plummeting down the order at this point.
Yeah, he is.
Nice little scrap
needs
here
to...
for P7, P8.
Oh, Mintoki! Wow, what a slide. How did he hold on to that thing right there? Tadpole is in. Mythic has a time for company while Kipu pits. Here he goes down the inside. Gecko behind that, claiming fastest lap, making the move. But Mintoki all out of control right there. Has a time on the inside. Mythic battling it out with him.
Oh my goodness, go on, Mythic. What an overtake.
Fair play. He needs a good move like that to happen. And Mintoki out of control once again, having a snap of snap from the rear.
Oh, Hazard, what are you doing?
And he gets Mythic. That was contact at turn number 5, and Gecko's in on the action. The Academy teammate, Shirley. Gecko once passed. Oh my goodness! Gecko
Mythic's not letting him through.
now has a mover on the outside to pull. Unusual place to make the move, but with the smallest of inches, he will go through. Oh my god.
Mythic, who's leaving the Academy next season, is like, you know what? I'm not racing for you anymore.
He says, fuck you.
I'm racing for myself.
Behind. Yeah. 18 seconds behind our race leader, Bonkers, is, second place is Gecko. That will be crucial for the pit stop loss. 17 seconds. Here's JNT and Draco.
Aren't you going to try and push the soft tire?
If he's doing that, fair play to him and smart. Very smart.
That's where the softs don't last more than 2 laps.
Here we go again. As a time and Mythic again, side by side, hopping and jumping over the curbs. Has a time making the move, and Mythic also caught up, and now Hunted getting caught out by Mythic. Here comes Mintoki. Due to that, Mintoki's pitting though with Mythic. So we'll find out in the meantime what happens there in that battle. that is just continuing to brew. J&T gets Joe Wilson. Hunted getting caught out again. Joe Wilson now down to 4th. But once the pit stop cycles work it all out, we'll figure out where everyone truly is, though. Race down the straight. It's a neck-and-neck race for a moment, but Hunted gets through.
Luckily for Hunted, Hazard doesn't forget to utilize his brake pedal this time and doesn't rear end another car. So thankfully that doesn't happen. Joe Wilson and J&T are looking to be very close. After J&T got the overtake done, Joe Wilson's got 20% more ERS in that car. And Jericho doing a very good job to try and stay with them. Obviously he's been gapped, but doing a very good job to be around them anyway. So very good job to him on his debut as well. Here comes Mr. Wilson.
Mr. Wilson blasting past J&T. It's a little swap-a-roo from what it was before, but both these guys have pitted, so this is currently the battle for 2nd place then. How crucial would this be? Well, it's very crucial because Mercedes versus Ferrari, that's going to be the battle for 2nd if they do not claim the title. Gecko lags out.
Trying to get him in. I don't know if I have him on the EA, but give it a go.
That is a shame. Well, it is his Xbox name, so I can try to grab him. I will do so since there's no battles on track.
I failed to send game invite.
Oh no. Well, I did not fail to send game invite, so I have sent him an invite then.
There he's back in, yeah. EA wouldn't let me send invite for some reason, some classic EA.
So, thank goodness I had him then. 13 laps done, 12 laps to go, and right now, Bonkers needs to pit soon here, but will he pit for the softs? He can make the rest of the way right now if he pits.
Geku's lost
However,
at the moment a second of
I was just going to say that. You make a very good point. That will be the difference in determining 2nd in that Drivers' Championship.
Well,
Remember, no Williams in this race tonight.
If JTK will let his teammate Bonky win the race.
Yeah.
Because if JTK is pitting again, then which will be interesting to see if he does.
I doubt he will. But you can make the hards the rest of the way, and he's looking to do so.
He will be very slow near the end of the race if he doesn't.
Yeah, it would be. But he has the gap to do so. Tadpole, Wavy. There was a move made right there. And now Tadpole will be going through and has a time. It's also Wavy's time to get this move done too. He needs to do it. Here comes Wavy, pulling out, going past, maxing out. 218 right there. Getting the move done. But Gecko is finally back in the session though. And that's very, very critical for him to be back in this session and have a chance here at what's going to be probably 2nd place in this race at the best. Blue Goggy is finally in. He will be pitting obviously onto mediums or softs. It's mediums for the Malta/UK driver.
He's nice. What's the strategy? Hard, medium, medium. Let me see. Yeah, he started on the hards. He's done
like
2 sets of mediums. So good.
It's usually soft, medium, soft, hard, or medium, hard. But
he's on
the thing is, the safety cars hamper things.
This might have actually helped Goggy because now he's on fresh mediums. This is good for him in the fight for points because if you look at it, who he's just come out around, this is who he was fighting with all race anyway. So he's actually taken a brilliant strategic gamble to take a pit stop during the safety car, and it's worked because he started on the hard, so he could go hard to the end. So he decided to go for I'll go for a medium, and it's worked. So good idea, Goggy, and just keep out of the barriers, and this will be a good race. And JNT is going to get in Wilson, yeah.
You stole the words out my mouth. Here he comes, and here he comes past. What?
What?
I said you stole the words out my mouth.
Yeah, don't worry about what I said. Let's continue on. And
oh, I know. I know. Well, we got 5 different DRS battles here. The first one about to have a move made is Mintoki and Mythic. And Mintoki will go on the right side. Invade gets Kippu. We can watch both these battles for just a split second. Kippu is passed. Mintoki gets the overtake done. And now Bonkers continues to stay out, trying to go for soft tires. Stretching these tires can be a concern for a puncture in the next couple laps.
He's going to try and get the fastest lap of the race. Let me actually check right now on the database, actually.
Yes. Who has the fastest lap? Gecko.
Oh, I'm just gonna check how many.
But right now with that
wins.
gap they have, look at the gap with Bonkers and Gecko still with lagging out. Gecko's gonna get Bonkers here.
Yes, he is.
Gecko
Gecko.
currently has
Yes,
second.
I remember
Oh,
saying this
in the
last week.
championship.
Gecko and Bonky have 2 wins, 2 wins, 2 P2s and 2 P3s. So then it goes down to who's got those P4s and down to who's those P5s and so on, so on. So realistically, I don't know who wins if they both get the same amount of points.
It would be very Sebastian Vettel-esque like. I know with Gecko racing Ferrari. I know you were just speaking about the Drivers' Championship. I was going to say about the Constructors with Mercedes passing Ferrari now on track for third. It would be very Sebastian Vettel-esque like from 2010 for Ferrari to get the Constructors' Championship after not leading a single race until now. As the time's in the wall, and that was after running right behind Bulgogi. He's now been overtaken by Kipu and will be by Invade in the coming moments, but that is not good for the Alfa Romeo driver on debut. But yeah, Ferrari have that battle to play for, the Constructors' Championship, to try to gain that gap back. Doesn't look like they're going to do something. Doesn't look like they're going to do that unless something happens as Gecko passes Draco pits. And the other thing to mention is that, like you were saying with the Drivers' Championship, it's up to Gecko and Bonkers. That's the bigger battle right now with just 7, 8, 9 laps remaining.
Only a certain driver didn't win the championship. This would have been such a scintillating battle for the title. But you can't fault greatness. Oh my god, that's horrible. Anyway, Jericho's come out of the pit lane right behind the 2 AlphaTauris. Kipu, the self-proclaimed bad car merchant, who's just bad, has just been overtaken by Draco.
But yeah,
Yes.
2 fastest laps from Hunted and Bonkers, by the way. Just something to mention there for extra points that they have as well. But yeah, back to 3rd place, J&T. Drag race with Joe Wilson, and J&T gets past. Wavy, is he looking for a move on Tadpole? Is he close enough? It looks like he's close enough. But is the Merc straight line speed going to help him and assist him past? Doesn't look like it. Invade and Mintoki racing it out for 12th place. Could become points if anything happens. And Bonkers is finally in for the soft tires. Got JTK fan club chat here from what we have on the Twitch chat. So that's nice. Who down your favorite drivers?
Check to see what happens. Okay, yes, I've just done some checking. What happens if Gecko and Bonky finish on the exact same points? Bonky will win. On
Alright.
more positions, or whatever it is. So Gecko needs to make sure he doesn't get outscored. He needs to make sure that Bonky doesn't gain 5 points on him. So
Alright. Well, he's on the soft tires and will be the one trying to overtake Gecko, who's trying to defend it now. Looks like for Ferrari's hopes, your Constructors' Championship as the current moment is over. Same with Mercedes, but never say never, right? It's not over till the checkered flag, and it's not over still for 2nd place. J&T looking for a return to the podium. Joe Wilson looking for a return to the podium. It's a matter of what place you want to be on that podium. Right now, it's 2nd place for Joe Wilson. He takes that spot back.
JTK is going to win this race by over 8 seconds unless another safety car happens. Which
Yeah,
would throw a
he's
spanner
put
in
on
the
a good
works.
performance.
But
A very decent contender for driver of the day. The only other contender I would say would be Joe Wilson or Bulgogi.
so
And Gecko is in.
That's interesting.
Why
He's an
is my
absolute-
question
he's-
here?
he's-
Because that is a 17-second pit stop loss, and that's going to put him outside the points.
He's a bloody idiot.
Why has he done that is going to be my question.
He's a bloody idiot. When did he pit? He pitted under green flag conditions, didn't he? Oh, he started
did,
on the
and he's now on
mediums. What an idiot!
He's on the softs.
Gecko was just an absolute bottler, man. I'm actually so annoyed. What
I've
is he
just noticed what you noticed there. He had to pit because of the tire
Why did he
allocation.
not
That makes
put the
sense now.
hards on? What an absolute buffoon.
Gecko may have just cost himself second in the championship with that move. If he had held on, and keep in mind, I'm saying if he had different tires, if he would have held on, or even got fifth, and Bonkers being fourth, he still would have held on for second in the championship. But no, he had other plans.
He needs to finish P6. Gecko needs to get P6 here to win.
Yes.
To win the battle for second there. So he needs to catch. Let me see how much of this. 33 minus. He needs to gain 10 seconds in 6 laps. So and he needs to overtake 4 cars. So this will be very
And
fun.
speaking of overtaken, Wavy gets the move done on Tadpole. He is up another place, and Tadpole not looking to challenge back, but has the fresher tires. He's trying to catch up to Hunted, and Wavy having his best performance in a Mercedes car. Much needed. Much needed at a good time, but too little too late for the Constructors' Championship. However, this can help them get second over Ferrari. Mintoki passes Kippu. Bonkers' fastest lap. He's running fast, trying to claim up the podium, but he has 5 laps to do so.
I don't think Bonky's going to be able to catch the cars in front. So Bonky just now needs to... The only man who can change the course of this championship now is Gecko. If he can overtake the 4 cars in front of him, he's got to get past Draco, Goggy, Tadpole, and Wavy at least to win.
But there's a 6-second bumper Goggy has to the cars in front.
Exactly.
So we'll find out what happens. And if J&T and Joe Wilson keep DRS swapping, that would be nice. But what are these soft tires going to do? Are the hard tires going to be puncture territory or at risk? They are going to fall off of a cliff, but will it be enough for a puncture? Will it drive them so far back to where Bonkers can win this race?
Gaining so much time. He's gaining 2 seconds this lap so far on Wavy Knife. So he's just going to make sure he's held up here by Goggy and Gecko's
and here goes. Down the inside. He's through. J&T's also through on Joe Wilson.
Goggy's pushing to get by passing. Goggy's underfield the car. Wavy is past Hunted. Oh my goodness, Wavy, what are you doing? Why is Wavy not bad? And Goggy back
all for vital spots. 5th place. We saw 2nd place, and now we see 8th place go back to Blue Goggy, and now Draco.
Over it again. Oh no! This has really been a spatter, and Gecko's fight back.
Side by side. Okay, Gecko's out in front now, and Kippu gets Mintoki. Once again, 6th place, 5th place, 3-car race to turn 1. Here's Hunted on the outside with Tadpole on the inside, trying to split the Mercedes and sliding sideways. Tadpole almost hit the wall, and Gecko with the fastest lap goes through on both Blue Goggy and Draco. This race is not over.
Gecko probably should have waited to get the DRS down the strip on Goggy, but obviously he's going to be a bit impatient. He's now... Yeah, he's got 5.5 seconds to gain to catch the fight ahead. We've got a yellow flag in the final sector. It's Hazza.
Oh! Wavy's off! Wavy's using the runoff. He had to use the escape road after going wide, out-braking himself, and that's caught both McLarens off. And look at the gap that Gecko's going to gain from this.
This is really helpful.
Although he's not out of DRS from Goggy, a full second right there.
Yeah, that's crazy. Bonky's going to have his head. Bonky's catching though as well, to be fair. Bonky's only got a 3.5 second gap. If Joe Wilson and JT keep their scrapping, this could be very good for Bonky. As it stands, Gecko needs P6. If Bonky gets P3, Gecko will need to get P4.
But how does J&T defend here? Joe Wilson will realize this is going to be for a podium place soon. Hunted passes Wavy. Tadpole has his chance now too. And here he goes past. 3.5 the gap for Gecko. He'll probably have a chance to get 5th place here, and that might be the best he can do. But with Bonkers, though, if he gets 3rd, they'll tie. And you said Bonkers gets that tiebreaker.
He does.
So that is vital.
Bonky, if
Tadpole
he finishes
also
3rd,
racing.
he wins the championship in terms of P2.
Yes, correct. And right now, Red Bull has that wrapped up for the constructors. All those cars still in contention, still in the points. So still a lot ways to go. But right now, it's looking good for JTK. 17 laps in those hards. Gecko will see this battle and realize he has to get by them quickly and not waste any time with this battling. He'll see the battling continuing and brewing, and here goes Tadpole, too deep, into the wall, almost, and into the wall now, surely. Hunted through, Wavy now trying to pick him off too. But this battling, just going to cost some time. Tadpole hitting the wall right there. Going to catch Gecko up, and he's already caught 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tenths now right there.
Yeah,
he's got DRS now.
He's going to have to try and overtake all 3 of them in the 1 DRS straight here. But
and
here we go.
Bonkers,
Yeah, Bonky's going to do it.
Nearly
J&T
in DRS.
needs to do a madness here for his teammate.
And he needs to hope Joe Wilson does the same. If these guys are not in puncture territory, fight for your lives. And even if you are still fight for your lives, J&T fights to get back. Second place, he retakes that spot. And here comes Gecko now. Gecko is trying to get 7th. But first up in front of that, Tadpole trying to swap around with a teammate. He'll reclaim 5th.
Right, and I have
while
just
Gecko gets Wavy.
Genius. If Gecko gets P5 and Bonky gets P3 or P2, J&T could fall off to try and get Bonky the P4, or sorry, try and get Gecko the P4. The only issue there is if Bonky finishes P2, it doesn't matter. But
Gecko is looking, peeking down the inside, sliding on fresher tires. Will go around the outside line, and can he hold it? Yes, he's through. Also, Bonkers is in DRS range, but did not get DRS in a turn 5. And here comes Gecko. He's timing this perfect. Here he comes. Tadpole defending. But how much longer can you defend that
Gecko
soft
is now
tire Ferrari?
in position to win the P2 battle here. But Bonky,
and now,
interestingly, he's got the 20% ERS, right? And J&T and Joe Wilson have got a lot more.
Smart play with worse tire wear with just 3 laps remaining for second place in the championship.
Bonky needs to play this strategically in these last 2 laps then if he wants to get this fight.
J&T, as the new team principal, can do himself much wonders for Ferrari. Here comes Joe Wilson. Blasting past, slingshotting, taking second place, and now J&T, it's all in your hands. Here's Hunted as well on Tadpole, while Tadpole is no longer in DRS at Gecko. Here he comes, Hunted. He's through, up into 6th, and that battle brewing on, continuing. Wavy there to pounce. Wavy on the inside line, tucking back in. And now we go to second place once again. Blue Goggy, still in the points, but being overtaken.
All I'm saying here is if J&T gets overtaken on the last lap and Joe Wilson is up the road, J&T needs to park the car on the side of the road and let Gecko beat. Blue Goggy is out of the race, not late enough to cause a safety car. So lucky for Bonkers 5 that there's no safety car. Ooh.
Whoa. I saw that for second place.
J&T, if he gets overtaken on the last corner of the last lap, if Bonky's in 3rd, J&T should let his teammate through for P4. And Bonky,
yes, I agree with that actually.
Will get the position.
Yes.
But that all depends on if Joe Wilson doesn't get overtaken by Bonky, if J&T does as well. So I'm going to be expecting some rough defending here from J&T to help his teammate.
And I think, by the way, just to make matters worse for Blue Goggy, he retired probably, assumingly, because of the low fuel, and Bonkers all over the back of J&T now. By the way, the lead from JTK has been cut down to 6 seconds, so maybe JTK trying to avoid a puncture. And here we go, a 3-car race in the strip. Here comes J&T. He's going through on Joe Wilson. Joe Wilson being overtaken now by Bonkers. And does Bonkers get J&T? Here he comes. No.
Oh, there we go. Well, Gecko is now losing out. Bonky is in championship P2 contending winning position.
Tadpole and Hunted. Trade spots there too. Final lap. It's the final lap of the Tier 2 season. Red Bull have a Constructors' Championship to win. Red Bull have second place to win with Bonkers. And here he goes. J&T goes wide. Bonkers trying to get the spot. Can't do it. Invade as well is also outside the points, making some noise because he's being overtaken. But right now, it's all in J&T's hands still. And right now, it's not going to be enough.
J&T needs to do something there. Maybe need to play a bit of DRS tricks with Bonky.
Still a battle continuing between both McLarens and Wavy, getting his first points for Mercedes potentially. But J&T needs to hold up Bonkers. If not, here's what he needs to do. Get the DRS now before the straight. Get the DRS and have it be with you and Joe Wilson. Here he's backing up Bonkers now. But does he play the DRS games? He's trying to. He's trying to play. And he taps him. Bonkers sends him spinning.
Oh, no.
And it's a 3-car collision. And it's the same thing replicated from 2 seasons ago with Bonkers, his teammate, and Bonkers is having the DRS now. J&T didn't. J&T using the slipstream, but does Joe Wilson get involved? Here he comes on J&T. Oh my goodness. That could surely see the steward's office and do it. For a second time, JTK is victorious in Vegas, clinching Red Bull the Constructors' Championship. And for second place in this race, without the steward's involvement for now, Bonkers will claim second place in the championship until the stewards have a look at that incident. Joe Wilson is third, return to the podium, and J&T does let Gecko through. So if Bonkers does get penalized and lose second place, Gecko can get that spot back. Side-by-side drag race between the McLarens ends with Hunted ahead of Tadpole. Wavy with 8th, Mintoki 9th, and Kipu gets the last point for AlphaTauri. Good way to end off the season. We still have a battle for 11th. Bonky says it was dangerous from J&T, by the way.
Yeah, I did see J&T backing him up quite a bit. Maybe J&T broke quite early to try and force Bonky into hitting him to try and make it look like, oh, Bonky should get a penalty. So hopefully J&T's got his view of the clip so we can, determine if he was the causation of it.
I think it was fair, but it's a matter of if Bonky outbraked himself and if what J&T did was too much. We'll find out. Here are the podium celebrations about to get underway. My driver of the day, it's going to go to JTK. Yeah, simple as that. I really think that was a good performance. A second career RPL win. Victorious in Vegas. JTK win number 2 in RPL Tier 2. 3 different nations on the podium. We have a Swedish driver back on the podium as well. Joe Wilson returns there. And I believe because of Ferrari's mess about, I don't know if they'll claim second or not between them and Mercedes, but I think they just barely hold on.
No penalties.
What, from track limits?
No track limit penalties.
Is that the first time we've seen that in a 50% race?
No, we've seen it before. No, we have indeed.
Impressive. 6 points that Bonkers gained on Gecko. Actually, it was tied in the end with that fastest lap, but Bonky got it due to the second place finish.
That's true. So
Ferrari, by the way,
crazy if it ends this way.
They hang on for second over Mercedes. Red Bull take another Constructors' Championship. They now have another one to their name. They've basically won them all, it seems. JTK, Bonkers, Joe Wilson, Gecko, J&T, Hunted, Tadpole, Wavy, Mintoki, Kipu, your points finishers. We only lost 3 runners from this race. Red Bull take Constructors' Championship number 9. Eoin, your final thoughts before we end off the stream and season.
I want an interesting and controversial way to end. I have no clue what's going to happen. I think it was just a matter of J&T slowing down on purpose, but yeah, what a brilliant season it was. I enjoyed it, obviously. I hope a lot of the drivers enjoyed it, and hopefully next season will be even better. Hopefully we have a tighter title fight. That'll be excellent. But yes.
Yes, I agree. I want to see a constructors fight again. I want to see a drivers fight again, and I want to see a little bit better races with better attendance. That's the only thing I'm hoping for. High hopes, maybe. But you know what? Season 12 is going to be upcoming. That'll be next week. Hungary for F1 Tier 1 tomorrow, and Formula Endurance as a championship to decide for the constructors in Japan. I will not be there on Sunday, though. Eoin, Tier 2, Season 12, opening round, what do you want it to be, is my question, though, to end off the stream. Last question to you with that. What do you want it to be? What track?
What do I want the track to be? Let's see, what were the tracks you listed for me? Let's see. So my ideal 11, 13 tracks. Here we go. I think we should do Britain.
All right. Well, that's it from me. That's it from Eoin McMoran, your two
Yes.
commentators from the RPL Tier 2 11th season. And we have a 12th season to get underway next week. We have Japan for Sunday in Formula Endurance with another constructors fight still going on. And F1 in Hungary tomorrow for Tier 1. 3 Eastern, 8 UK time. Join us then. And if you're not going to join us then, join us for Tier 2 next season on each Friday for the events. Goodbye and good night, and we will see you then.
Fuck off.